news. Authorities in Northern California have released the identity of the woman who allegedly opened fire at the YouTube headquarters in San Bruno. Investigators say the shooter was 38-year-old Iranian-American Nasim Agdam. She allegedly opened fire with a 9mm handgun and shot 3 people before killing herself. Today marks 50 years since the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As thousands come together to mark the anniversary in Memphis, Kenneth Craig takes a look back at all he accomplished and the fight that continues today. "50 years after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination, those who remember the civil rights leader are not only looking back at his legacy, but ahead to the future.
And we have to say we've come too far. We're not going back. We're going to build a beloved community. We're going to redeem the soul of America."
Dr. King was just 39 when he was killed in Memphis.
Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
His nonviolent protest sparked a movement unparalleled today.
He brought together preachers and rabbis. He brought together people of every walk of life, from every age and race and every geographic region of the country.
Colin Powell was the nation's first African-American Secretary of State.
The way that was made for me was built a large extent by what Dr. King did and by his great sacrifice.
Loretta Lynch made history as the first black woman attorney general and believes Dr. King's legacy lives on.
Whether it's the Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter, the Parkland students, these youth-led movements are really a legacy of the civil rights movement also.
I think the death of Martin Luther King Jr. just maybe took some of the steam out of the movement, but it didn't stop the movement.
Dexter Scott King was 7 when his father died.
If he had lived, he may not have been, I'm certain he would not have been as effective. Because he gave his life, he was martyred, and then you remember all of the positive things he left behind.
Positive things for the nation to savor as Americans remember a leader who preached that only love can drive out hate. Kenneth Craig, CBS News.
Colleges and activists have organized 3 days of marches and conferences to remember Dr. King and his legacy. Today, the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis is holding a day-long observance with speakers, performances, and excerpts from Dr. King's speeches. Closer to home, a man suspected of sexually abusing children in Montana was taken into custody in California. 37-year-old Joseph Eugene Garcia was arrested on March 19th in Roseville, California, where he had lived since August of 2017. He was taken into police custody at the request of the Great Falls Police Department based on a warrant charging him with 4 felony crimes related to the sexual abuse of children. Detective Katie Cunningham says she is concerned there may be other victims. Garcia lived and worked in Great Falls, but also traveled to Fort Belknap, Billings, Bozeman, and Missoula, among other smaller communities.
Our investigation does lead us to be a little bit concerned about contact, if he had any, with children within those cities. So we're urging people, if you have any information about Joseph Garcia or are concerned by the contact that he's had with children, to contact me directly.
Detective Cunningham can be reached at the Great Falls Police Department by calling 455-8561. Meanwhile, authorities have released the name of the woman killed in a crash near Roundup. She was identified as 44-year-old Shannon McBee. McBee, who was wearing a seatbelt, was a passenger in a vehicle driven by her pregnant daughter. McBee's granddaughter was in the back seat behind her. Their vehicle was headed north when an oncoming vehicle crossed the center line and struck it partially head-on. No one else was injured. The cause of the crash is under investigation. A federal judge throws out a wrongful termination suit filed by a former Columbus police officer who was fired for sexual misconduct. Sergeant Paul Caraway was first placed on paid leave after a female dispatcher reported he made sexual comments and advances. Other women in the community also reported sexual harassment by Caraway. He was ultimately fired from the department in 2015. Caraway's complaint alleged he was not given a proper hearing. However, the judge agreed with the city and police department, saying Caraway had every opportunity to contest his termination, but chose not to. In other news, as the rallies and protests by teachers in Oklahoma continue, it's stirring emotions in some teachers here in Montana. Their issue, money, and how to pay for services and programs that parents expect and kids need.
When it comes to providing the best education we can for our kids, right now we don't have the capacity to do that, and that has to do obviously with state funding. It also has to do with what people locally are able to surrender in terms of property taxes. We really do desperately need to address our revenue streams in this state, and I believe that's exactly what Oklahoma and West Virginia are all about. And anytime, expectations don't meet with what revenues are able to provide, you have trouble.
As of right now, there aren't any known solidarity protests planned in Montana, but he says that may change when the 2019 legislature convenes in January. Elsewhere, the Billings School District 2 Board of Trustees will select its new superintendent next week. Trustees met on Tuesday to discuss the interview schedule. The board officially voted on 3 finalists last week, down from 5. Ross Kaysen, Rebecca Salato, and Greg Upham will return to Billings for final candidate interviews. A superintendent will be selected on Saturday, April 14th. Now we go to Skyview High School in the Billings Heights, where the Falcons will soon be partially solar powered. Those solar panels are set to be installed over the summer. The school, which is the largest energy user in School District 2, now has some financial help to install a solar energy system. A $50,000 grant from Northwestern Energy will bring down the cost of the nearly $140,000 project. The system is estimated to take at least 11 years before a return of investment, but that could happen sooner depending on the solar energy market. In a 30-year timeline, the savings are estimated to reach $327,000. School District 2 will try for a second $50,000 grant next year to install a similar system on Senior High. Wrapping up our news on this Wednesday morning, the History Channel is calling the discovery 1 in 100 million. The skeleton of a baby T-Rex, one of the most preserved and complete ever found, was unearthed right here in Montana at the Hell Creek Formation near Fort Peck Lake. Researchers and students at the University of Kansas recovered the fossilized remains, which are about 66 million years old. Researchers say a young T-Rex is rare, with only a few being found over the years. This particular skeleton includes a complete section of the upper jaw with all of the teeth.
This is the first bone we found in the skull. It was actually this ridge right here, and we started working into the outcrop and we started to uncover teeth. What's fantastic about this specimen is like every tooth position is filled not only by a functioning working tooth, but also by replacement teeth.
According to University of Kansas, just like humans, a dinosaur's body changed as it grew, and it can be difficult to determine what changes are due to growth versus different species. The fossils are currently being analyzed, and a full report is expected in coming months.